Hello everybody. I had a few requests for people to see Molly's dress that she was wearing for the show on Sunday. So I'm going to show you that better. I'm also here and behind you trying to change Annie because she has just got up and she wanted cuddles just as I pressed play. So Annie is getting cuddles a minute. So yes, what she is wearing is a vintage dress, and it really did match that pram, that pushchair that I looked at that I tried her in, didn't it? It's because it's red, white and blue. But I don't know what era it's from. Maybe the 90s? Maybe. I'm not sure. Right, there you go, Annie. Okay, you all right there? Annie's not fully changed, but she's just got her nappy and that on. But anyway, let's get all the gubbins around here. So she had this cardigan on, which I've had for a very long time. It's a navy blue cardigan with flowers and that down. It's lovely. I've had it for ages. It's from Sainsbury's, 9 to 12 months. And for some reason she wanted to take her Teletubby this time around, just go around. We were in love with Teletubbies. So I put her on a hat because it was quite a warm, not warm, it was a sunny day. It wasn't warm, it was sunny, and she was in the car. And so I like to protect my Reborns hair, and that's why they wear hats. So this is a hat, like I said, pick hats up. I think I've said this before, whenever I see hats that are relatively cheap, because hats come in all different colours and styles. This is 3 to 6 months. It's huge. It's a huge hat. And you see the jumper that Molly had on was 9 to 12. So, and she had a bib, but she didn't have a bib on all day because the bib was when she had her drink, because we had drinks, didn't we? And so we take the bib off. And Molly likes a dummy. So we took this. We had this old dummy clip. Like the things I've had for a long, long time. And then this one says, I love you. It's red and it is cut off. So Molly can take a cut off dummy. If you see paint on my hands, I've been down in Hillside painting. And then it gets stuck into the creases, even though I wash my hands. So I don't know where this beautiful dress is from. Annie's had it on before as well. It's nice length for them, and it is really eye-catching in the red, white and blue. And then it's got like the flowers and that all down it are lovely. The little bow up here is velvet, and then it's got like this little frill, little v-neck frill. And so she also had on some tights. I put some thin tights on. These are like real thin, and they've got butterflies on, so they're like almost like sheer tights. And then some white shoes from Tesco's, I believe that's where we got that from. I just stopped you there because I wanted to take a video. I'm not sure if it's got a label in it. We're going to have a look though, see if it's got a label. You're going to lean over for me, are you, Missy? Thank you. So it's got 3 buttons down the back. And she is wearing one of those old envelope vests that I think I was telling you about when I did recently. I did an hour-long video where I changed all the babies. And she has, her and Annie both have these old envelope vests on. That are from, there we go, from the 90s, see? And they just come down to the waist. They don't have any poppers and things. Right, let's see that. And if this has got this does have a label in it. Made in Britain. So you know this is quite an old one. Right, I'm just trying to get you the label. Because it's old. It says 12 to 18 months. That side, made in Britain. and then it's just got the washing instructions on the other side. So that is the only one that's in there. So I don't know where the dress came from, but I hope that answers your auntie's questions, because your aunties were saying, where's that beautiful dress off of Molly from? The one thing I don't really like Molly in is rompers like these. This is the one sort of thing that I don't really like her in, and I have a few of those. But of course, she now needs to get dressed. So I'm just going to have a rummage of your and see what we got. I think that's more for summer, Molly. And there's a dress there from Auntie Tracy, but I know that that'll be too long for Molly. Oh, Molly, what are you going to do with you? I don't want to put her on any vintage at the moment, so I've got some vintage stuff. Should we just put you on something? I feel myself soft and easy. So when I feel like I want something soft, easy and cozy, that's usually when the kids get something soft, easy and cozy on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her on this. Right, there we are. I think that's better. I think you can see us there. Oh, that wasn't me. That was a chair at the store I'm sitting on. So yeah, when I'm tired and just want cozy clothes, so do the kids. We're still like pretty much recovered from the weekend, because I literally, Tuesday is the only day I've been out. It's Thursday. Yeah, I've just filmed a new edition. So I just filmed that, and Molly, I wanted to film Molly's clothing, and because somebody asked me that before I changed her. And I also, so I've started getting out here my vintage clothing. Somebody, I can't remember who it was, I think it might be an Anne, asked if I could do a vintage, show my babies, all of them in something vintagey, and yes, I can do that. It's on my list, so it will be the next few weeks, but it's on my list. I do like getting suggestions, because it means that it gives me something more to think about. You know, it gives me something to do if I don't know what to film. A bit like this, can I see Molly's dress? And I'm a vintagey person, so I would be like, oh, I wish I could have seen that dress in more detail. Oh, what are you looking at? You're looking at the clouds in the sky. Hey, you're looking at the clouds in the sky. So both Molly and Annie are going to wear baby grows today. Now, I do believe elsewhere they call them sleepers. But here I still call them baby grows. That was what they were when my kids were small. And in fact, my eldest, who was born in the late 80s, she was in baby grows right up until the summer, right up until she was like 9 months old, because I couldn't afford much else for her. Couldn't really afford anything else, so she just wore lots of baby grows. And then the warmer weather came, and so then she was just in dresses and shorts, hand-me-downs kind of things. But I was just a 19-year-old mum with very little money back then. Anyway, there we go. That's cute on you, isn't it? And I got your cardigan. Annie's got one. Annie's got a baby grow as well, and a cardigan. So we're all having the feels today. We're having the feels. One of the questions I got, so I still have questions to answer. One of the questions I got was, who is my go-to baby? My go-to baby would be Annie. So when I'm feeling rubbish, is Annie. There we go. I love hand-knitted cardigans. They're just so cozy. Mummy has lots of cardigans, doesn't she? Yeah. And there we go. I have lots of cardigans, but I have my favourites, as you will see. There we go. A bit big on your shoulders. That's better. There we go. So that's you. That's you. Shall I put you in your cot? Yeah. There you go. There you go. You can have a rest now. Yep, there's your baby. And I'll put on a blankie. There we go. There you go, Missy. All right. You do. You have Henry's doggy in there, don't you? Right, Annie's turn now. So yeah, Annie is my go-to baby, aren't you, Annie? Hey. Annie is the one that I have had the longest. Come here, beautiful girl. Annie is the one that I've had the longest. Annie. So Annie's story, I've done her story a lot, lots of times. It's in her playlist, and in a playlist it's called Reborn Doll Therapy, I think it's called. Because I was in therapy when my therapist was trying to encourage me to talk to my inner child, which I found absolutely absurd at the time. And all the therapy I'd been in, nobody had ever suggested this inner child therapy to me. And so I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, and mostly because I was told as a kid not to say anything. So I find like going to the doctors, being in therapy, then difficult. Talking, and so she said, like, doll, what sort of doll did you have in your childhood? And I said, well, I didn't, but I always wanted Tiny Tears. So I got a fake Tiny Tears from eBay because they had Tiny Tears on there and they were too expensive. This was back when I was 40, and in my early 40s, and just wasn't working. I just could not talk to this little doll like how I was feeling. And so she has asked me if I'd ever heard of lifelike dolls, and I was like, lifelike dolls? Like, no. And so I went home and I did some research, and I watch a couple of documentaries that a couple of people have seen before, like The Lady Who Goes to America and things like that. And then I went online, and on eBay I saw Annie. So Annie, yes, you. So Annie is the Annie sculpt by Donna Rupert, and she is very old. I'm sure it says on your neck, doesn't it? 2015. Annie's very clever. She can turn her neck really far. It says Donna Rupert. No, 2010. That's how old this sculpt is. And these don't go right up. These are not going to fit you much longer, Missy. I know you like them, though. I will put them on you because they've got all the flowers on. You like flowers, don't you, like Mummy? So I saw her. I think that was in the November, if I remember. I'm trying to go off my head. I haven't looked back at any of my videos for this. This is just another off the cuff. Remember, and I've got a few more questions to answer. So that was in November, and I told and she was like really expensive. I didn't really know how much these dolls cost. She was really expensive, and I was like, no way. No way, I'm not paying that. I hadn't even heard of anything in England. And I think by the February she was still on eBay, and I'm sure it was by the February. It's after Christmas anyway. She was still there, and she had been reduced. And then every time I you put it in your watch list, don't you? And every time I put it in my watch list, she had been reduced, and I was like, blimey, someone's going to have her. I really feel like I want her, and I really feel like nobody wants her because she reminded me then of Wolf and Annie, and kind of my situation when I was a kid, when I was like a little baby, that being passed around, and that you feel like nobody wants you and you don't belong anywhere, and it really does eat into your adulthood. Anyway, I got her. I bought her, and It was a wrench. It was so hard. It was so hard for my family to understand, for Russ to understand. I mean, the videos at the start, I think, are of Russ, like, really, this one just fits you too. You're growing. That one was big on Molly, and this one just fits you. Look at it. Look at that. And the first time I took her to my counsellor, I put her in one of those big like cooler bags for grocery shopping. I don't mean the cooler boxes. I mean the bags that you get from like Lidl and Asda and that, when you buy like frozen food and you put it in these bags with a zip, because they're big bags, aren't they? Very secure. So I put her in there, and I just put her across the other side of the room in the counselling, and I was like, she's in there. I remember it as clear as day, because I just couldn't. It took me so long. So I understand when people don't get it, because it took me a long time to get it myself, to let myself have that freedom of being able to express myself through Annie. And Annie might not be the most realistic sculpt in the building, but Annie is just such good therapy for me. That little girl at this did not deserve what was going on in her life. And if the way that I can help that little inner girl, inner child, is through loving this one, I'm going to do that, because what little Caroline went through every day until she left home was nothing short of hell, absolute hell. So each of my reborns, the ones I've got, so Frankie, Emma Jane, Annie, they represent the 3 stages of my life where drastic things happen. And then there was one more real defining moment in my life, and that was when I was 14. But I'm not going to get a 14-year-old reborn here. We've got enough of them inside my body. I do have multiple personality, so we've got enough of them. Carly's the 14-year-old me. She hated the reborns as well at the start, so I had a battle with my mind with her. 14-year-old who's, one of us wants to play with dolls as an adult is just not cutting it, is it? For a 14-year-old, we have all the attitude from the 14-year-old. It has been hard. It's been hard, but I am in a much better place now, and I feel for my children that had to go through that, my real children. I feel for my ex-husbands who had to go through living with me in that situation. Even Russ. It's been hard slog being me, being happy, being me. And it's not about being happy, it's about, I think, what is happiness? People search for happiness, but what is that? If you can find peace, you can be happy. It's about finding peace. It's about being brave and getting the peace that you need. Because there was one stage that I told Russ that if he didn't get his act together with the reborns, then I would be going on my own, because I needed my reborns to help me go through everything that I was going through. And when I got Annie, also my dad, who had been the only constant in my life, was diagnosed with cancer, given a year to live, and passed away within that year. And that was hell. Lots of things happened, like around the time I got Annie. Lots of things happened in my life as well altogether. So not only did I grow up with a horrendous childhood, lots of things happened in my small amount of time together. And without her, I think I would have gone completely batty. You could argue, on the other hand, that I did go completely batty when I got her. And if this is my only vice, this room, buying all these, clothes and that for dolls, this is my only vice, it is keeping me going in a life that's been really cruel, then there we go. That's what I'm going to do, because I'm not hurting anybody at all. In fact, not accepting me hurts me. So thank you very much for that question. And I know that somebody also asked me, you know, how many reborns have I had? How long have I had them? Oh my God, I couldn't even go back. That would take lots of research for me to go back. I will get to that one day, that question one day, I think. But certainly not at the moment. Frozen fan, that was a difficult one. But I know that, can't remember who asked me this one about you, Annie. But anyway, I will hopefully remember to write your name in the start of this video, along with Auntie Alison, because she also asked me what each of the reborns give me. And I'm not going to do that in this video. Frankie's at school. Emma Jane's out there playing. So I've already kind of like done that video with those three. But I will touch on it again anyway. But that is Annie's and my story. And yes, that is our story, isn't it? So Annie is definitely my go-to baby. Look at that pudgy belly. Look at that pudgy belly. You don't want a bottle of milk. You want a bottle of milk and curl back in your bed, do you? Hey, want a bottle of milk and curl back in bed for a nap? Okay, we'll do that then. So there we go. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your questions. I know there are more on my list that I haven't got to, but thank you very much for asking. We'll see you in the next video. Bye. Are you going to wave bye? Do you know how to wave bye? Say bye. Bye, everybody. I love you.